Welcome to the Kate Molland channel. My podcast is now in progress. Let's tune in.
I got to attend the show as a guest because I wanted to not work when Justin Timberlake was performing. I wanted to enjoy Justin Timberlake's performance.
Understandable.
So I got seated in a certain area that may have been close to the front, in those rows that you speak of.
Okay. I don't see a problem with that. You deserve it. You worked there. I understand this was a paid job. You were not there as a volunteer or an intern. You were actually paid.
Correct.
Yes.
The Page program is a paid employment opportunity.
Now, I noticed also that NBC would give you other shows. What other shows were you on? We'll talk about the Emmys. We'll talk about the Oscars in a minute. But what other shows have you been on other than those two big accolades?
Yeah. So at the Page program, you're really responsible to assist with seating and other tasks for all the shows that are actually taping on the lot. So at the time, Ellen got started at the lot we were at. So we would work audience for her show. Carson Daly had a nighttime show. I think it was like it aired on Friday nights or something. So we would do audience work for his show. And then, it wasn't Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but there was some other show that had contestants, and I can't even remember it right now, and that's really bad.
When you did Ellen, that was in the afternoon.
Well, it may have been aired in the afternoon, but Ellen would sometimes tape two shows a day. So we would tape like an early, like late morning one, and then tape another one in the afternoon.
No, Jay Leno would tape around.
It would tape at 4:30. So it would be live to tape. So the taping would take literally an hour, because you do it straight through, no interruptions. You leave the gaps for the local and national advertising. But it would be taped at 4:30, so it was done by 5:30. East Coast time, that would be 8:30. So they had 3 hours almost before it had to go up.
Which show did you like to work on in terms of fun, Ellen or Jay Leno?
Oh, they're both fun. I just connected more with Jay.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Was it his personality or?
The personality, and then the variety of people that he would have on. And like, especially it was fun when he would do like the segments with kids who like invented stuff.
I see. Was the live band something you look forward to? Because I know that it was Kevin Eubanks had it for a while, and a guy named Brandon Marsalis or something.
It was always Kevin when I was there.
Oh, I see. Brandon Marsalis was gone at that point. That's neither here nor there either. But my point is, you did enjoy the Jay Leno show more.
I did.
What about the audiences? Which audiences were better in your opinion? Which audiences were more fun?
We got a lot of tourists for Leno. And so it's always fun seeing people come from, the Midwest or the East Coast, and they're coming to Hollywood to look at the Walk of Fame, and, seeing a Jay Leno show is a treat.
After the show, was there anything that took place after the show that we should know about, or was it just curtain closed, Jay Leno walk away?
For me, it was, curtain closed, the audience gets out safely, and, head on home in the traffic of the night.
Okay, but you never had any problems with the audiences, though? No one ever, jumped on the stage without permission, or tried to wrestle Jay to the ground, or try to force a hug, or force an autograph, or anything like that?
The security team was so skilled in handling things that nothing ever got out of control that I saw. Okay.
Now let's talk about these other accolades, because I know you were also assigned the Emmys. Now, describe the difference between, say, doing the Emmys and doing the Jay Leno show.
Well, the Emmys were a multi-day process. Like, Jay is like a show a day, which is great. But it takes a very small amount of time in comparison to an award show that goes on for like 3 hours, because there's rehearsals for the show and staging, various people in different areas. And so, they're just different.
Okay. Now, what about your dress code? Your dress code from, say, Jay Leno to the Emmys, did you wear the same uniform, or did you have to get a gown for the Emmys?
Oh, no. NBC let us wear our Page uniforms for the Emmys also. So I have this peacock tie that is still at my mom's house somewhere. But, navy blazer, white dress shirt, peacock tie, and then I think the skirt was gray, and then black shoes.
I see. So they wanted to make it clear at the Emmys that you were part of the working team.
Yes.
That you're not there to get an Emmy or anything like that.
No, they don't want any confusion. They want to know who the employees are at all times.
Now, here's something else. Now, around that time, I think it was in the early 2000s we're talking, around that time, my son was dating a girl that he met through, again, mutual contacts. And I believe that was his first serious girlfriend. He wanted to impress her. So arrangements were that he was able to attend the Emmys. Now, I'm curious as to whether or not he was sitting there while you were a page. Now, that would have been a nice coincidence because, without giving away the year, I'm thinking that around the time you had mentioned to me that you were a page at the Emmys was around the time he was dating that girl. And he was telling me how he was sitting next to the star of Everybody Loves Raymond. I can't think of his name. Ray Romano, I think his name was.
Yes, Ray Romano. No, that is such a fun coincidence if it was the same year.
I'm going to ask him. Next time we get together, I'm going to ask him.
We should, because I, in meeting people, when you figure out that you've been in the same room as somebody, way back when, there's a little bit of a bonding experience with that.
It's almost like destiny wants something to happen, okay? So you're in the same room with this person. And
been there before.
Yeah, something's going to come out of this. Something's going to come out of this. And here we are today, which is, working on a podcast together. But would you say I would imagine the energy would be much different, say, in an audience filled with celebrities versus an audience filled with people from Ohio?
I love Ohioans.
So do I.
Yes, the energy is different, but I think it's the scale. It's just the scale of what it is, because the Emmys or any of these award shows are watched internationally by a certain community that values what's being awarded. They value television, or they value music, or they value movies. And so you're seeing it just on this larger scale. But to have all of these beautiful people dressed up in beautiful clothes, and then the fast pace of a 3-hour program, there's a lot going on.
Okay. Now, how did you feel knowing that you were in a room filled with so many people that millions of people would have loved to have met in person, or at least have been where you are to be able to feel that energy? How did you personally feel? Did that make a difference in your life, or to you it was just another day?
It was special, but I didn't, sit in the, oh my gosh, so many other people would really want to be here in the exact moment. I think that if I sat in that feeling in the moment, I may not have been able to do the things I was supposed to do. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. You were there to do a job, and that's what you did. But did you ponder the event when you went home? Like, wow, that was something. Or did you feel energy residue from that crowd of people who kind of know who they are? Because that's an authentic audience. I mean, you're looking at an audience at Jay Leno where a lot of people may not have a clue who they are, or why they're born, or why they're here, may have never discovered their talents and gifts, versus an audience filled with most people who have discovered their talents and who have discovered their gifts and who are making a killing, making a windfall, sharing those gifts with the world. I mean, the energy, as you mentioned, is different. But now my question is, did any of that energy did you bring any of that home when you laid down in bed that night and put your head on a pillow and said, thank you, God, thank you, universe, for that experience. Here's what I got out of that. Is there anything like that?
The residue I had was, wow, I want to be in that room again, but in a different capacity.
Well, why not? That makes perfect sense. Same thing with Jay Leno. I'd like to be in here again, but because there is an energy difference between audience and stage.
Yes.
But at the Emmys, there's a difference with just audience and outside the audience, because everybody in the audience is usually somebody that is either that has money, influence, and luck. One of those three things working for them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there. Now, let's move to the Oscars, because you were a page also at the 75th Academy Awards, I understand.
Yes, that's
now,
correct.
Now, was the energy the same there? Because this is a different crowd. Emmys is television, Oscars, movies. Movies are huge, big screen. Did you feel a difference in the energy there?
Absolutely.